How'd you guys actually meet?
We met at the BET Awards.
Oh, okay. Because he's super in the industry, but he's not
And
Mr. Mega famous
what
too,
I
right?
love about him, that he's not mega famous, but he's still like...
He understands how these people move and what the concerns would be, right?
Right. You know, so, yeah, I love that about him because it's not... He doesn't have an ego. It's not like my other relationships.
Right.
It's much, much easier.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because he worked with Pop Smoke. Did you ever meet Pop?
We love Pop. We were so sad when he passed.
Right.
He was actually coming to our house the next day because he wanted me to do his hair.
Really?
Yes.
You were going to do Pop Smoke's hair. What did you have in mind?
He wanted to dye it blue.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he wanted to dye it blue, and I had got all the stuff for him because he was going to come over. And my husband was going to go to the studio that night.
Wow.
His house. Well, yeah, he was going to go to the studio and then his house that night. And it's funny because a couple days before that, Alex was like, I was like, babe, I feel like you're working a lot. Like, I'm that type of person. We need to like spend quality time together. He was like, okay, any day you really want me to stay home with you, I'll stay. As long as you say, yo, this is a deal breaker. You got to stay home with me. And that night I said it. That night I was like, honey, I really want you home. I want to watch a movie with you. I want to get some snacks and like lay in the bed and watch a movie. He was like, fine, I'm going to stay home with you.
Right.
That was the night Pop died.
Wow.
He would have been at the house. Like,
That's
God
terrifying.
forbid. I know.
Wow.
I thank God every day. But yeah, but Pop, I mean, he was a good person. Like,
right.
He was a sweetheart. He was a good kid. He was fucking 19 years old.
Right.
Yeah.
I know that one's such a tragedy. Like, I mean, it's so hard to make sense of it or like figure out what the lesson should be. You know, I've had friends who like died from drug overdoses, and it's kind of like,
Same.
well, I hope that, you know, some of my other friends will take note of this and stop fucking around with drugs like that. But with the Pop thing, it's like, what's
Just
the
a
lesson to be learned? It's just pure human cruelty and just not giving a fuck about other people.
Right. Yep.
No, it's so sad. The first time I ever met you actually was backstage at Juice WRLD show. And I just remember,
Really?
and I just remember you seeming like so fascinated, like you had actually really gone out of your way to meet him because you were so interested in him.
I tell my husband that all the time. It was Pop Smoke was probably the last, and then Juice WRLD before that was when I really was like, I'm obsessed.
Right.
Like, I was obsessed with Juice WRLD. I used to tell him all the time, and like we used to text all the time, and he's just a lover. He loved his girlfriend so much.
Crazy.
And he would be like, Amber, what ring should I get her? Like, and he would send me pictures like, should I get this one? Should I get this bracelet for her? Should I do this? And I would kind of walk him through it because, you know, I have boys. I kind of looked at him as like another son.
He was
kind of.
definitely a big kid.
Yeah.
Like the kid part of him just oozed through so much, even as you were seeing him grow up.
Yeah.
More than very few people I can think of that would have that same combination of like being insanely talented and blowing up and becoming incredibly successful, and then also just straight up seeming like a kid.
Yeah.
And having that energy. Yeah, like the way that he used to bring his girl out on stage like almost every night, and like I was there a couple of times seeing her just like in pajamas. Like,
right.
And he's like dragging her on stage and like just singing to her and stuff. It was just, I mean, I've very rarely in my life have I seen artists do that like that. It was pretty incredible.
Yeah, he was a good kid.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You ever talk to 21 anymore, or what's the nature of that?
No.
No, that's 100% over.
Yes.
Right.
I mean, I have a whole baby and a whole man.
Right, but I mean, you're friends with some guys you used to date, right?
No, I'm not friends with anyone.
No, nothing.
No,
Really?
I don't believe in that. I don't need friends.
You don't think it works out in the long run to stay friends with somebody you dated?
Not for me, no.
Okay.
I'm really like, I'm a real loyal bitch.
Right.
Like, I'm a real down home loyal bitch. So when I move on and I love somebody else, I don't need friends from my past. I don't need that shit. Like, I don't play those games.
Are you the one who told him to hold the sign that says "I'm a hoe"? That was a viral moment that we all loved.
No, actually, he that's what he wanted to do, and
Okay.
I think that was ultimately the demise of our relationship.
Really? You think that's where it started?
Yeah, I think so.
In what way? Like
I think that he was being very supportive, and he was like, "Man, I should hold a sign that says I'm a hoe too." And I was like, that would be really great for feminism. Like, slut walk, you know, you're a rapper and like,
Just admit it. We all know
Black-
you're a hoe.
well, black men are always looked at to be very hyper masculine, and I think this would be a great moment. He's like, yo, I'm down. So I got the sign made and everything, and he held it up. And then after that, I think the internet just went in on him too much, and it was just not, it wasn't good after that.
Wow. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like he's somebody who really like, I mean, did you get to see a softer side of him? Because like when I listen to his album and stuff, he sort of describes himself as basically being incapable of having a serious relationship. And I'm not sure to what extent that's the reality.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously I've seen a very soft side of him, but he I think that he's scared to be loved. I think he has his own trauma, you know, his own shit with him. But he's definitely not like, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't have been with him for a year. I was with him for like a year. I wouldn't have been with him for a year if he was just not loving
The
at all.
version you see on a lot of his albums.
I wouldn't have stayed that long, you know.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a thing though where you like went and like slept in the house that he grew up in, or like you guys went there and there was this like bizarre sort of photo op of you guys together in that environment? Or am I
No.
tripping? No, that didn't happen.
That never happened.
No, okay, I'm making it up. Okay. What yeah, so the OnlyFans is like the big thing that you're super focused on right now. Obviously motherhood is going amazingly. Is there anything else that you have sort of planned for the world around you, or are you sort of just focused on?
I do. I have a lot of stuff that I'm working on, and I was kind of like, I didn't know if I should come now because I do have other stuff coming out, but maybe I'll just come back and we'll do another interview.
Oh, let's do it.
But yeah, I can't really talk about that stuff, but it's huge.
Really?
Huge.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of stuff that you could do in terms of like, I'm sure you have book deal offers, TV offers, documentary type stuff.
Yeah, all that cool stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah, I got some cool stuff coming out.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Everybody always wants to talk about the forehead tattoo, but I don't know what I would really ask about it because I get it. You know, it's a certain point where you just want to. I mean, like, what could you possibly care about more than your kids that you would want to give them some prime tattoo real estate, right?
Yeah, and then I was sick of people asking me like, "Are you Amber Rose?"
Right.
I'm Amber Rose.
You get asked that a lot. That's interesting that doesn't just run out at some point when
It's
you
so
obviously
weird. It's
are
like
Amber Rose.
yes, it's me.
Right.
It's me. Yeah. But I think it's so cool that like girls all over the world, you know, shaved their head, dyed it blonde, and like wore shades or wear shades, and they love me. Like I a lot of girls hit me up all the time on Instagram. They literally, I have to look to see if I'm like, who took this picture of me? And it's not me, it's them.
Really?
Yeah.
Does that mean a shitload to you to be able to just inspire the younger generation of girls who are sort of in a similar position to where you were before you blew up?
Yeah, of course. You know, I mean, look, there's enough money for everybody. There's enough work for everybody. You know, we don't have to be stingy. I don't feel like I'm, you know, I believe that this is my look. I've, you know, I gave this to my generation. You know what I mean? There's, what's her name? Sinead O'Connor, I guess, before me, and Eve, you know,
Shout out
before
Eve.
me. But for my generation, this is my look. This is me. I gave this to these girls. So
Definitely.
that's tight.
That's amazing. I really appreciate you giving me the interview and stuff. It was incredible getting to learn about you. I've been such a fan for such a long time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And yeah, might have to be hitting you up for some baby advice when she pops out. I don't know who else we would ask.
I'll send you a whole bunch of shit. I'm
Okay.
telling, just don't. I mean, I'm sure you guys already did it because she's due on Monday. I would say don't buy a lot of shit.
Right.
Just don't buy a bunch of onesies. You're gonna waste your money, bro. And I'm like, in my relationship, I'm the responsible one. I'm the one that's like, I literally took like 2 years off because I'm really good with money. Like I save my money. I don't spend frivolously. I'm telling you, save your money. Don't get anything crazy for this baby.
Yeah.
She doesn't need it.
That's what people keep giving us is just more and more clothes, and it's like we already
Well, good.
had
Let
like
them give them to you.
Yeah, we already have like her closet. Like when I'm looking at it, I'm like, this is how I imagine like Steve Jobs' closet laid out. It's got like 10 of everything, perfect amount. Like she just didn't want to get too much, so it's just the perfect amount. But then people keep giving us more and more shit. I'm like, okay, this is how the drip.
Well,
is
you
got
to
to
think if you're getting newborn size, right?
Right.
Or within 2 weeks, she's gonna be in like 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
So all those clothes you have to give away. And then 3 to 6 months is like when she's 3 months, she might already be in 6 to 12 months.
Right.
Because babies nowadays are much bigger.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it depends on what she's eating when she's pregnant. I mean, kids grow fat, all the hormones and chicken. And I mean, my kid's like Slash is in a 2T and he just turned 1.
Right.
He's in it for a 2-year-old. So don't buy a lot of stuff. I'm gonna give her all the formula that, you know, if she can't breastfeed after a while because it's fucking hard. I'll give you guys everything. I'll text you. I have your number.
Sick. Hell yeah.
I got you.
I'm tapped in. Mothering classes going down.